The kingdom of the lion. The beasts of the field and forest had a lion as their king. He was neither wrathful, cruel, nor tyrannical, but just and gentle as a king could be. During his reign, he made a royal proclamation for a general assembly of all the birds and beasts, and drew up conditions for a universal league in which the wolf and the lamb, the panther and the kid, the tiger and the stag, the dog and the hare should live together in perfect peace and amity. The hare said, "Oh, how I have longed to see this day, in which the weak shall take their place with impunity by the side of the strong." And after the hare said this, he ran for his life. So let's unpack this. Um, the beasts of the field and forest had a lion as the king, which is pretty common. Uh, you know, Lion King, etc. The lion is the king of the jungle. Everyone, most folks know that or learn that. Um, Neither wrathful, cruel, nor tyrannical, but just as gentle as a king could be. Sounds a lot like the Lion King. During his reign, he made a royal proclamation for a general assembly of all the birds and beasts. So everyone get together. We'll have meeting, draw up conditions for a universal league, and then Aesop names wolf, lamb, right? Wolf attacks the lamb, the panther and the kid, tiger and the stag, dog and the hare. You know, these things that would potentially be counterpoints or buddies or enemies or you know, just names. It reminds me of the way he's naming all of these. It reminds me of um, Walt Whitman. Where he the poem "Drum Taps" that I wrote about. We wrote an essay on it in one of our playlists. He talks about these different occupations. Like he just and in his other poems too. He's very passionate and effusive, and he likes to name the mechanic and the porter and the salon owner and the barber. He names these names, and this is very similar. So Aesop, doesn't spend a lot of time naming these names in the other ones that we've read thus far in this playlist, but this is the first time. So Kingdom of the Lion. So he goes through a lot of the potential the potential members of the community in this kingdom that the lion presides over should live together in perfect peace and amity. So we can tell by context clues, even if you don't know what amity means, is it positive or negative or neutral? It's probably positive, right? Because it's talking about living together in perfect peace and blank. It's probably going to mean harmony. I mean, it's probably literally harmony. So even if you didn't know what it meant, we're going to guess harmony, and then we look it up. Like amity. Okay, a friendly relationship. Like amicable, right? Amiable. If someone's friendly, they're amiable. And here it is, synonyms. Harmony. Exactly. So you want to remember phrases, right? In perfect living together. I think that's a song. Living together in harmony. I'm an awful singer, so please don't razz me too heavily. But yeah, so just remembering phrases, living together in peace and harmony, in perfect peace and amity. So amity probably means harmony. So making those conclusions as you're going through and reading new words. So then, even if I didn't look it up, I'm going to guess that amity is probably harmony. I'm going to say, oh, amity, amiable, amicable, friendly, pleasant. If I already knew what amicable meant or amiable meant, I might say, oh, okay, they probably have a similar root, similar prefix, origin, etc. The hare said, "Oh, how I have longed to see this day in which the weak should take their place with impunity by the side of the strong." With impunity, meaning basically being unrelenting and just ignoring any naysayers who say otherwise. So let's look it up. Impunity. Exemption from punishment or freedom from the injurious consequences of an action. So exemption, freedom from liability, license. It's like a license with impunity, with license. So without fear of retribution, etc. Exemption from punishment. Okay, so by the side of the strong, which we could have read that also just by context clues. So the hare said, "Oh, I've longed to see this day." And after the hare said this, he ran for his life. Again, it reminds me of O. Henry, because O. Henry, a lot of times he writes these short stories, and there's always like a funny or an interesting or sad or you know whimsical twist at the end. A lot of times he has like this flourish at the end of his short stories. We're gonna cover some of O. Henry's stuff as well. Um, you know, but yeah, here's a twist. After the hare said this, he ran for his life. So what does that show you? That these 3.5 lines, or 3 1/5 lines, basically saying, look, they set the whole thing up like, oh, these guys are gonna get along. These guys are all gonna get along. Look at all these beautiful animals. They're gonna get along. They're gonna get along. And just because the lion says so, the lion, the emperor, the lion that sort of runs the kingdom is announcing this and bringing them all together, and he's organizing it. You can organize all you want, but to bring this cacophony of voices, this society filled with multitudes from all over, um, who have different needs, wants, origins, desires, etc., priorities, etc. There's going to be conflict. These guys aren't robots. These guys aren't machines. These guys, they're creatures. They're creatures of the earth. So whether it was humankind, like Animal Farm, which was that it was a book that was sort of an allegory for humans in the political scene. This is sort of similar as well, because you can take this this community, this milieu of animals in the kingdom, and you can also connect it to humanity as like human beings. Human beings, there's going to be conflict. There's going to be some strife. So that's kind of the wink, wink at the end of this short parable by Aesop, the fable called "The Kingdom of the Lion." Thank you very much.